Yo, what is up, everybody? It's Jay again. Welcome back to another J Talks podcast here today. And yes, I am here solo today, but that's okay because I can talk to you guys directly now. So just think as if you and me are having a conversation because that's what's happening here. But let's get straight into it. Naruto topics. All right, I have to address one of the video reaction videos I made this week. I'm sure many of y'all have seen both of them. So I did What If Madara won and Pain versus Might Guy. I have to address What If Madara won. I made some statements that I must retract and also elaborate on. So let's get some straight. Madara versus Kaguya. All right. I said on the video that Madara would beat Momoshiki. That I thought he's stronger than Madara, but I was mistaken. Okay, because we have to go based off what the characters themselves said. Sasuke and Naruto themselves said that Momoshiki was a greater threat than Kaguya. And furthermore, they also said Kaguya was the greatest threat in the Fourth Shinobi War. So my apologies. I have to retract my statement. He would not beat Kaguya. He would not beat Momoshiki even with the absorbed God tree. Okay. Now, let me elaborate here with my stance on Madara if he won the war, right? If he won the war, we just don't know what would have happened. We don't know what his full potential would have been post God tree absorption. Okay, so I have to get that out of the way. If he would have absorbed the God tree, right? Let's say that he stops Zetsu in his tracks. Zetsu doesn't kill him or whatever he did to summon Kaguya, and also beats Naruto and Sasuke, right? Which is a big if because they were pretty deadly. And I also kind of glanced over the fact that Naruto's clones were pretty competitive with Madara's Limbo clones. So I didn't keep that in mind also. But let's just say for the sake of this hypothetical scenario, he beats Naruto and Sasuke and doesn't let Zetsu, fuck him over. We just don't know what his full potential would have been, right? What we do know is he would have been able to absorb chakra from everyone on the planet, with Infinite Tsukuyomi becoming what he wanted it to be, right? He could have absorbed chakra from everybody with all his abilities, right? So we don't know how strong he could have become. We don't know how strong. Could he have ever been as strong as Kaguya or Momoshiki? I don't know. But we don't know, okay? Because he died. Or at least was changed into Kaguya very quickly after he summoned the God Tree, which we know because Zetsu did so. So we don't know, right? But we have to go based off what the characters themselves said. They considered Kaguya a bigger threat than Madara post God Tree absorption. So we have to go based off that. I can't, use headcanon and say, oh, Madara would have been stronger than Kaguya. He would have been Momoshiki. So I apologize. I must retract that. Okay. But that was a very interesting video. Even Swag himself later on in another video said, yeah, Madara wouldn't be Kaguya. So I apologize. I let hype get the best of me, all right? Because Madara is a very hyped character. He's a very loved character. And I got to stay logically consistent and not, overreach my stance on things. So that's my mistake. I'm mad enough to admit that. I'm glad many of you commented on that video, pointing it out because I needed to be, I needed enlightenment on that, And I did my research myself after I saw you guys comment. So I appreciate that. I'll rock with all y'all. Once again, when I do reaction videos, let me know if I'm wrong. I want to be I want to be informed. That way I could adjust and improve, my knowledge. But so Madara 1, I want to get into this. I want to keep talking about this now that I've addressed that. Okay, so he would have had everybody in a trance, Swag touched up on the fact that, yeah, Zetsu tricked him, and the truth was Infinite Tsukuyomi was going to change everyone into white Zetsus. So here's the question: could Madara have modified the jutsu to not make it do that, to make it do what he wanted it to do, which is put everyone in this perfect, everyone is in this trance. They're in this fake reality where it's the perfect reality. They're all in peace and within their own minds, entrapped by the Infinite Tsukuyomi. We don't know. I can't say yes or no definitely. Obviously, he was a god tier shinobi with the absorbed god tree. Would he have been able to do that? Let's just say, for the sake of what I'm trying to say here, he does. Let's say he can do it. At that point, what I was stating is he would be lonely. I mean, what would he do after that? He would just be kind of just flying around the world with nobody left on it. I feel like he's a human being at the end of the day. He's not a power hungry Otsutsuki like a Momoshiki who doesn't care about anyone but himself. And really, I think he'd go insane. I think he might even undo the jutsu. I don't know. That's something that Swag didn't touch up on, but I feel like he would lose his mind. I mean, this guy is a human being. He had a friend in Hashirama before, of course, he turned on him and they had that battle in the valley at the end. But he's human at the end of the day, and you saw some humanity when after the conclusion of Kaguya versus Sasuke, Naruto, Kakashi, Obito, and Sakura. You saw a little bit of humanity in Madara when he, on his last words. Him and Hashirama were talking like old times. So I feel like there is humanity within him, and Hashirama brings that out of him. So who knows? Maybe he would have, revived Hashirama, and he just would have been chilling. I feel like Hashirama would have tried to stop him when he realizes what the hell's going on. Obviously, he wouldn't be able to. He's not strong enough. But I feel like he would have done something, and I feel like he would have lost his mind. I mean, you can't take free will from people. That's what he was trying to do. He was trying to remove free will from the world population to achieve peace. I don't want to get too philosophical here because that's not the point here. But that video was very interesting. So good job, Swag. But next up, Pain versus Mike Guy. Pain versus Mike Guy. All right, that was a very interesting matchup. Very tough one to grasp. Even Swag himself had a tough time because it's tough. All right, so Mike Guy, the master of the 8 inner gates, able to achieve all 8, open all 8, and on the other side we have Pain, the Renegade, Pain of the Renegade, Nagato of the Renegade. Now that's an interesting fight. And like I said in the reaction video, the 8 gates is the X factor. The 8 gates, because we saw what my guy was capable of when he opened the 8 gates against Madara, who was already had 6 path. He was a 6 path of Sage basically, and my guy put it on him. Yes, he had help. He had help from Gaara and Minato, and he had help, right? But still, even so, he was the main guy there. He did the most. He's the one that did the damage at the end of the day. So there's that. But it's a suicide. It's a suicide mission because once you open the 8th gate, you're basically dead. You're dead. So we came to the conclusion that at least I did, that Pain would win in most scenarios as long as my guy doesn't open the 8th gate. And if my guy opens the 8th gate, Pain's a very strategic guy. So I feel like he would test my guy with the weaker paths of Pain, right? With the weaker ones, and would see that this guy's too much. If he's able to, he would probably try to leave. And if my guy would, if not, then my guy would be all the paths of Pain. But hence, he wouldn't be Nagato though, because he would die after that. And he wouldn't be able to trace Nagato's location, similar to how Naruto did with his Sage mode. So my guy can beat the Pains, right? And with the 8 inner gates, I think we can all safely conclude he would. But he wouldn't do so right away. And honestly, in reality, he would come in his regular form. Why? Because he knows nothing of Pain. He knows nothing of him, and vice versa. Pain doesn't know anything of my guy. So yeah, I feel like Pain would win in an infinite domain of possibility. But yeah, that one I kind of just want to glance over real quick. But next up, one of you guys in my last podcast commented to talk about the third Raikage. So shout out to you. You know who you are. The third Raikage is someone I wished was further explored in the Naruto verse as far as the anime is concerned. I'm not very familiar with the manga, admittedly. I want to be, but going based off the manga, the anime, I wish the third Raikage was further explored. I mean, this guy did things of biblical proportions. I mean, this guy fought 10,000 shinobi in the Third Great War and only died, I believe so, and this is why I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, he only died because of starvation and exhaustion, because he's a human being at the end of the day. He's a human being. So he wasn't defeated. He was never injured besides by his own hand when he fought the eight-tailed beast, which is ridiculous. He was able to spar with the tailed beast, for fuck's sake, the second strongest tailed beast. That's ridiculous. So the only scar he has was from his own hand. This guy is a demigod, damn near god. The only thing that killed him was human basic needs that weren't met, which was probably water and food. He was fighting for days on end with no one really challenging him. So now I'm not sure to the extent of how powerful the shinobi were. whether they were all Jonin or there was a mixture of Chunin and Jonin, all the 10,000 that he fought. But even so, 10,000 is 10,000. So this guy is something else entirely. And even in the Fourth Great War, Naruto had to learn of his weakness, his scar, to defeat him. His Rasen Shuriken didn't do anything to him, which is extremely powerful, which was able to wreck Kakazu. Kakazu got wrecked by him. With this Rasen Shuriken, it destroys people on a cellular level. Now, this indicates that a Rasen Shuriken wasn't able to penetrate, the lightning shield that the Raikage possesses. It's extremely, extremely powerful. Extremely. Now, that is ridiculous. This guy is something else entirely. He's obviously, from my understanding, from experts and hardcore fans, he is superior to the fourth Raikage. He is superior. He's basically a better version of the fourth, and the fourth, hence, is basically a poor man's version of the third Raikage. Now, this guy can go toe-to-toe with almost anybody, besides, obviously, gods like Hokage Naruto and, like Momoshiki, people like that, obviously. But, like, everyone else, he can go toe-to-toe. I'm talking Minato. I'm talking the third Raikage, the third Hokage, people of that nature, of that stature, of that tier, of that prestige. This guy's something else. Now, I remember reacting to the Minato one. That was very interesting. Now, would Minato be able to hurt him? I don't know if he has anything in his arsenal to hurt him, right? Because Rasen Shuriken is stronger than the Rasengan, as we all know. And that didn't even scratch the guy. It didn't even scratch the guy. He was caught by it. It's point blank, hit by it, and it didn't scratch him. Now, Minato does have, advanced sealing techniques. Now, that would be his best bet, right? A sealing technique would probably work against Raikage if you're able to catch him. Is Minato as fast as the Raikage? I don't know. He is extremely fast. I don't know. It's tough to say. I don't want to say anything concretely. I don't want to be mistaken. I'm gonna say they're in the relative. They're relative to each other. They're in a relative ballpark here. But the Raikage is something else. I mean, if someone against Itachi, obviously there is a Genjutsu problem, but he's so fast. I don't know. That's a tough one because Genjutsu is Genjutsu, right? Now, we got a little taste of that when the fourth Raikage fought Sasuke, at the Five Kage Summit. He did use Genjutsu, and the Raikage was caught by it. And he did avoid it, but to be fair, he had a sensory ninja by him, so that guy was able to give him a better advantage as far as that. Now, it's tough to grasp. That'll be an interesting matchup. He is obviously Itachi would have no shot hand to hand, no shot hand to hand. He'd have to be long range the entire time. Almost anyone that fights the Raikage would have to be long range the entire fight because you just can't spar with this guy. He's something else entirely. He'll kill you with his jutsus that he possesses. He's just something else entirely. I just wish we could have further explored. The anime could have further explored him and maybe give him more screen time. He's quite the shinobi, But yeah, that's my take on him. Shout out to you once again for giving me that topic. And another topic that the same person gave me was Naruto's Talk No Jutsu, right? So shout out to you once again on the last podcast for commenting that. And once again, guys, please give me topics. And honestly, it can be Naruto, it can be sports, it can be whatever. And I will definitely consider it and probably do it like I am right now. So shout out to that guy once again. So the Naruto Talk No Jutsu here, all right? Now this is plot armor. It's plot armor, okay? Because he used it on Nagato, who killed basically the whole village after he defeated the Pains. He used it on Nagato. He used it on Zabuza to some extent. He's used it many times. He's used it on Obito, also Obito, right? It's the most powerful jutsu out there. I mean, without that, Kakashi would still be dead. Many people would still be dead. Obito probably would have stayed the Ten Tails Jinchuriki, and they probably would have lost the war. So this Talk No Jutsu is just something else, and Naruto has a special ability to use it, right, against foes that are beyond his beyond his grasp that he can't defeat. So what I have to say about this is it's just part of anime, right? It's part of anime. I mean, you have to have some kind of inconsistency and, you know, borderline, I don't want to say illogical conclusion, but, borderline iffy conclusion for the hero to win at the end of the day. Naruto is the main character, and he sometimes he's faced with an enemy that he can't defeat hand to hand, or with violence. Nagato killed the whole damn village, when he did the almighty push and just destroyed the whole damn village. Killed killed Kakashi, killed Izune, he killed everybody. Everyone's fucking dying, man. And without that talk no jutsu, who knows what would have happened? I mean, Naruto would have came back to the village with a dead sensei, and I don't know. Things would have changed. And let's say he couldn't talk no jutsu Obito. Obito would have stayed 10 Tails Jinchuriki. And that would have been weird because Madara wanted to be 10 Tails. I think he still would have tried to extract it from him or, take it from him because at the end of the day, he was just using Obito. But things would have changed. He would have never had Obito's help against Kaguya. He might have even died against Kaguya. Who knows, man? A lot of things. And then Sasuke, he also used it against him in the battle at the end after he beat his ass. Yes, he beat his ass. But he talked him out of it, basically, when they were on the ground dying. So, yeah, it's a very significant kind of power that Naruto possesses. Excuse me for yawning. It's just, it was needed in the anime. There's no way around it. But that's what makes Naruto so special. He's a guy that people are attracted to and that we as fans are attracted to of the anime. I mean, this guy is the underdog. He is the personification, of peace and prosperity through fairness, because we had these other characters that wanted peace, Madara, Nagato, but Naruto wanted to do it the best way possible, giving everyone equal opportunity. So at the end of the day, Kishimoto, I believe, wanted to make Naruto's philosophy the dominant one and the correct one in the eyes of the watcher and or reader, So that's why this guy possesses the Talk no Jutsu. His philosophy triumphs all others. And yeah, there's some people he couldn't talk no jutsu, to be fair. Madara, he couldn't talk no jutsu. Someone like Hidan, like the people that are not seeking peace, those guys you have to kill or dispose of. Those guys, their philosophies, it doesn't involve peace. It doesn't involve others. It involves themselves. Someone like Hidan, this guy, he prays to some god, and he always talks about it, and he's very self-absorbed, and that's someone you can't change. Kakazu, all he cares about money. All he cares about is money. So Kishimoto really wanted to emphasize that at the end of the day, good guys win. The good guys win, even when the evil guys are stronger. So Kishimoto did a beautiful job with that. I know some people get annoyed, like, oh man, he never would have beaten Obito without that. Or, oh man, Nagato, why did he revive everyone just because Naruto talked to him? It's just the beauty of the anime. It's the beauty of it. It's more of a, it's a deeper meaning. It has a deeper meaning. It's not all, combat and fireworks and explosions and shit like that. It's deeper. And that's the beauty of Naruto. If the show was all just fighting and shit, it wouldn't be as popular. We have this guy, Naruto, who stands up against all odds. He stands up against all odds, and I guess technically I'm doing a Naruto dissection, Naruto Uzumaki dissection right now, to explain the reason for the talk no jutsu and why it's not such a bad thing. This guy, he stands up against all odds. He never gives up, and he's willing to die to achieve peace, true peace. Where everyone lives in harmony with free will, not free will stripping from them like Madara, who wants to just achieve peace at all costs, or Pain, who wants to instill fear in others when he was trying to break the cycle of hatred through devastation. He wanted to make a weapon out of the 10, the all the nine tails, and make a create a catastrophe of historic events that would scare people into never fighting again. Now that's not the right way, and Kishimoto wanted to point that out. He wanted to say, Naruto has the right formula, and that's why he will triumph in the end, which he did. I mean, in Boruto, he did what he said he always would in Naruto and Naruto Shippuden. There's peace. The five nations are, at peace. Yeah, there is obviously crisis with, and within Boruto as well, such as, Kara and, Kawaki and all these other guys. I don't want to get too deep into that because I'm not too far into that myself. I'm currently watching Boruto, if you guys were wondering. So yeah, very interesting, and it was needed in the show, point blank period. But yeah, guys, that's Naruto, and if you guys have any topics, like I said, let me know in the comments. And for you guys still watching, right? If you're only here for Naruto, stick around, because I talk sports, and who knows, maybe you'll get caught on. I mean, maybe you'll get hooked. But moving forward, all right. So we're moving to the UFC. Conor McGregor. We gotta talk about Conor McGregor here. Conor on Twitter, which scared me greatly, said the fight was off against Dustin Poirier for the trilogy. So this all transpired with the catalyst being Conor according to Poirier, Conor not donating to charity as promised, the $500K that he promised, which Conor retaliated quickly and with much hostility. He was talking shit, calling Dustin the old names of old, like a fucking hillbilly, and a pea-sized head, and all this other shit. So it created conflict. So I was excited up until the point because I saw trash talking Conor, which was the Conor that was winning fights, knocking people out. So that excited me until I saw Conor say, "Oh, by the way, the fight's off." Like, that scared me. But thanks to the MMA gods, Dana White has officially stated the fight is on. And then Conor goes on to say, "Yeah, I signed it." So what's the point of saying that it's off? It's just you're contradicting yourself here. And yeah, people are gonna say, "Oh, it's because he wants to hype up the fight." How are you gonna hype up the fight saying it's off? That's kind of, maybe he was pissed off that day. He was like, "Fuck this," but at the end of the day, he's gonna fight. So thank God. I just want to say thank God. Now here's the question: is shit talking McGregor back? Because after this altercation on social media, Dustin went on to apologize for putting out, their business when it came to donations and things of such. And I'm gonna be real here because I'm a fan, and I consider myself a hardcore fan. I love the pure fights where it's just fighting. There's no shit talking. But I have to be honest. I hope Conor keeps talking shit. We need some excitement. We need some hype. We need fireworks. And honestly, it's to Conor's advantage to try to get in Dustin's head once again, because Dustin started being nice again and said, "Sorry, I apologize. Shouldn't have brought this shit up. It's just about fighting. Let's bring a good fight." And Conor hasn't responded to my understanding. And I checked Twitter a couple hours ago. Sorry for yawning. And he hasn't responded to Dustin. He's kind of doing other stuff on Twitter now. I hope he keeps talking shit. I really do. I want that Conor to make a return. It'd be quite exciting. The press conferences would be much more exciting. Not just them giving each other compliments and shit, which is boring, to be honest. It's boring. We can all agree with that, hardcore or not. Casual, hardcore, whatever. The reason Conor is such a big name is because of what he did. The Ali persona. Talking shit, backing it up, being a savage in and outside the octagon, being a damn savage. Now, he really crossed the line, right, when he fought Khabib and he brought religion and family into it. You're not supposed to do that. That's not okay. Maybe that might have scared Conor a little bit. He's like, "Wow, what the hell am I becoming?" So after that, he really didn't see shit talking until now. He was very cordial with Cowboy, and then he was cordial with Dustin. Now he wasn't, and it makes sense why, because Dustin called him out and said, "You're full of shit. You didn't give him the money." So here we are. At this time, this time in history, And we're going to see what happens. I hope Conor keeps it up, man. I'm not going to lie. I want to see that Conor back. I want to see him come back and keep talking shit, you know? So we're going to see what happens. I'm excited. And the fight's on. Thank God it's on. And furthermore, McGregor versus Poirier 3 is expected to be at full capacity. The fight location is expected to be at full capacity, with that location being T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. That's awesome. So around 60, 70,000 people will be in attendance. It's about time we have fans back. COVID is starting to be behind us. You know, we're not in the middle of the pandemic. We're at the end of it. And we're getting close to the conclusion of this time in history, which is, you know, a terrible time. The pandemic, the scare, you know, the pandemic scare, you know, the paranoia created, all that bullshit. It's about to be behind us. Thank God. Sports needs to come back. We need sports back. Here we are. You know, here we are. So let's see what happens. All right. So moving on. Marvin Vettori beats Holland, right? It's kind of old news, but the big picture is Adesanya Vettori 2, you know, for the title. For you guys that didn't know, Adesanya, I believe, only beat Vettori by split decision, if I'm not mistaken. So this is a tough fight for Adesanya, who's coming off a loss against Jan Blachowicz, obviously a light heavyweight. But this is tough. This is tough. Adesanya has a tough guy in front of him, a guy that grinded Kevin Holland out and wrestled his ass. You know, he can grind. Obviously, Kevin Holland was an up-and-comer. He's lost 2 straight. I still believe in Holland. I believe he's going to be a contender for a while, and he's exciting. But Adesanya versus Vettori. Adesanya, he's going to have a fight in his hands. Obviously, he's a better striker than Vettori. I think we can all agree with that. But can Vettori grind this guy out? Has Vettori improved? Has Adesanya improved? We're going to find out. This guy is a clear next in line, the guy next in line for it. On other news, I know Whitaker is facing Gaslim, and because Till, I believe, had a sickness, he was sick or something. So Whitaker and Gaslim are fighting. Gaslim gave Adesanya a lot, you know, all he could ask for when they fought. So that's another guy. But Whitaker, then again, is very, very good. Very good fighter. So we're going to find out what happens there. Excuse me, I misspoke right now. He already fought Till. I believe Whitaker fought Till and beat him. So I don't know what I was thinking when I said that. But yeah. So we're going to see what happens. Is Adesanya still the dominant champ? I know a loss can really change a fighter. But then again, Adesanya lost a couple of times in kickboxing. So he's tasted defeat, and he's tasted defeat bad before when Alex Pereira knocked him out specifically. So I'm sure he'll be fine. He's not going to disappear like Ronda Rousey when she got knocked out by Holly Holm. I think that's not going to happen. I think he'll be just fine. And he'll be prepared. I mean, Adesanya, he's not only good with his skills, I think he's in a good headspace. He has a good mindset. And he just knows the right way to think, the right way to do things. I think he's in a very good place mentally, despite losing. You know, he took a champ against Blachowicz, and he'll be fine. He'll be fine. So I hope he wins. As far as light heavyweight for Adesanya, I hope that he gives it another shot, but he's gonna have to put on weight. There's no way around it. And speaking of that, of light heavyweight, Jan Blachowicz will be facing Glover Teixeira, who is 41 years old. I believe at UFC 266, if I'm not mistaken. Good for Glover, man. This guy's still doing the damn thing. He's still winning fights past 40. Do I think he beats Jan? No. I don't think he'll beat Jan, but good for him. He's one of the greats. Who knows? Maybe he will win. Anything can happen in the sport. That would be quite the result if that were to take place. But yeah, I just wanted to touch up on that real quick, speaking of light heavyweight. But moving on. Rose Namajunas, all right, made some comments, that involve Zhang Weili, her next opponent's country, China. Communist comments. I believe she said, I'd rather be dead than red, and she's, referring to the communism that takes place in China and Weili's country. Um, I feel like this statement was kind of out of nowhere. I feel like she wasn't really planning on it. Maybe I'm wrong. I feel like it just came out of nowhere because China is a communist country, and that really is a narrative that's possibly there now. Within this fight, it's America versus China, which it shouldn't be. Weili is a great person, I'm sure. She's a great fighter, great champion, first Chinese champion I believe ever. Definitely female Chinese champion, if you know. Um, but it is what it is. Rose defended her. I believe she defended her statements here. Let me go on and look this up real quick. I have it right here. Let's see, where are we here? She defended her statements, and was it the best statement to make? No. Not the best statement. Not really relevant to the fight. I mean, I guess somewhat, because Zhang Weili is from China. But she's not the government. She's not an advocate of communism, at least to my knowledge. And yeah, it was just a little out of left field. It was out of left field. It was in the news and in the MMA world. So it's bizarre. It's bizarre that she said that. Well, not bizarre, but just left field. So yeah, that's all I can really say on that. I don't want to get into politics and shit. That's not the point of this podcast. So moving on to the last thing, on my UFC list here. Tony Ferguson talks Khabib, saying that this he should come out of retirement and fight him. And then he goes on to make excuses for losing to Oliveira, saying that, I only trained jiu-jitsu for 5 hours. Dude, you're not the type to do that. Come on. Don't lie to the people. It's embarrassing. Honestly, I love Tony, but he's embarrassing himself. Dude, this focus on, I believe he's fighting Dariush, Benil Dariush soon. So focus on that. That guy's a killer within himself. Don't make excuses and shit. It's just not a good look, Tony. It's not a good look. Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed in him. It seems like he's becoming like a bitter old man or something. Dude, you lost fair and square to Oliveira. He got you. Your age is starting to show. Or maybe it's wear and tear. I don't know. But you know what I'm really sad of is that we never got to see Tony and Khabib when Tony was Tony. I really wish we could have seen that fight, man. It's a damn shame. It just never came to be. It was like the MMA gods just didn't want it to happen. Who knows what would have happened? Maybe Tony would have become champ. Who knows? Now it's obviously people are gonna be, hell no, he wouldn't. Look what happened with Justin Gaethje, blah blah. We don't know. We don't know what would have happened. We don't know. But yeah, it's disappointing. And I hope Tony can come back because I do like Tony, despite him embarrassing himself at this time. But yeah, guys, that's the UFC. Now, moving on to boxing. All right, now this is an exciting time for boxing, in my opinion, as well as the UFC, which we just talked about. But I got to talk about the stakes involved in Jake Paul versus Ben Askren. Now, if you're still watching, I will be doing a live stream to that fight Saturday. So stay tuned for that. I will be making announcements about it. So yes, that will happen. And I will be talking and just chilling with y'all while we watch these fights with the Jake Paul and Askren card. But the stakes involved here. Jake Paul, I have to admit, has skill. Now, is he fucking Canelo Alvarez? Hell no, he's not. But he has considerable skill, considerable power. You can't say he doesn't. Timing, precision, power, skill. He's fluid in his movement. Nothing's forced. He can box. He can box straight up. He's impressive for someone that's only been doing it a couple of years. Now on the other side, we got Ben Askren. Just had hip surgery. Just retired and lost the fire to fight. And now he's fighting Jake Paul, a young, hungry dude who wants to prove everybody wrong. And can box. Now Ben Askren has beaten the likes of Douglas Lima, the likes of Robbie Lawler, which are killers, right? All-time greats. But with wrestling. So we got to keep that in mind. With wrestling, right? He's one of the best grapplers MMA's ever seen, right? But the guy got outstruck by Damian Maia. Damian Maia is a jiu-jitsu practitioner. He's not a fucking striker. He never strikes. And you get outstruck by Damian Maia. That's not good, man. That's not good. No disrespect to Damian, but he's not a striker. We all know this. He knows that. He's one of the best grapplers we've ever seen. That's what Damian Maia is. Right? Now, I saw Ben hit the pads, and I don't know if he was joking or not, but if he wasn't, God, it's rough for Ben right now. He just doesn't have explosiveness. I just don't see power. I don't see snap on his punches. I'm being honest, and I love Ben, man. I love Ben. I just don't see it. All right, and I've been swayed these past couple of weeks on who I thought would win. I thought Ben was just going to run through him, but after seeing and hearing from certain experts and commentators and analysts, and seeing Ben himself spar compared to Jake, it just doesn't look good. He doesn't look explosive. He looks slow. Um, I know he's tough. I mean, he survived against some of the greats in the MMA world. But it just does not look good for Ben. Um, we're not going to find out till the day of. But what Ben does have on his side is he's fought the best in the world and he's beaten them. As far as Bellator and won championship and stuff, not UFC, excuse me. But you know, he's tough. He's tough. So the stakes are very high here for Jake. For honestly, Ben probably doesn't really care. He's not fighting anymore. But what Ben does have on his shoulders is the MMA world. You know. Now, if Jake beats him, Jake can honestly call out a decent fighter. He can call out Dylan Dennis. He can call out who else is out there? Conor. You know, call out these guys. Now, Conor, let me get something straight. Conor would absolutely kill him. I'm just gonna say that right now. He would absolutely kill Jake. Let's just get out of the way. But someone like Dylan Dennis, I wouldn't mind. You know, there's someone that's known but not a killer because he'll lose. Jake will lose unless he's just a prodigy. Unless he's a prodigy like fucking Floyd Mayweather or something, which he probably isn't. But yeah, so the stakes are very high here. Now, if Jake loses, we got to talk about this. If Jake loses, stick to YouTube boxing because if you can't beat Ben Askren, man, you're not beating anybody else that's elite. Nobody. Ever. So, yeah, stick to KSI and whoever the hell else is out there. I don't know, Austin McBroom and all these other guys that Jake would fuck up. He would fuck these guys up. You know, he'd fuck up the guy from the Ace family and I know GDG's out there and KSI and even his own brother Logan. I think he'd fuck Logan up too, honestly. Who's supposed to fight Floyd. I don't know what happened to that. I feel like it's off now, to be honest. But the stakes are very high here. There's a lot at stake here. A lot at stake, and I can't wait for it. But like I said, I will be doing a live stream to it. And for you guys that are actually listening to the podcast, I appreciate y'all, and you guys are the first to know. I did already announce it on before, but you guys are being known. You guys are being notified now. Excuse me, that it's coming. So moving on, Eddie Alvarez to possibly fight Oscar De La Hoya on July 3rd. Now this is serious talk. There's serious talks. Serious talks right now. It could actually happen. Now this is pretty interesting. I mean, Eddie Alvarez is one of the greats. Oscar is one of the greats. Eddie is considerably younger, I believe, than Oscar De La Hoya. Now, Oscar is damn near 50 years old, all right? So let's get that out of the way right now. Eddie Alvarez, I believe, is 37. That's significant. And he's still fighting. So I don't know the last time I saw a video of Oscar in the gym. Oh, I did see a video of him actually not too long ago in the ring just shadow boxing. That's cool and all. But he's 48 years old, man. I mean, not to talk shit, but I'm sure he did drugs and stuff. It seems like he has some addiction problems. His body's probably broken down a little bit, just from the years of boxing as well. And Alvarez is still fighting, doing the damn thing, and it's still dangerous as ever. I don't know, man. I don't know what to say. It's interesting. I definitely will be watching. July 3rd, that's soon, man. I wonder if it'll be an exhibition. I'm sure it will be. I don't know if Oscar's willing to actually fight. I did see a interview where he said, "Yeah, I want to fight. I don't want an exhibition. I want to fight," which is scary. Alvarez is no joke. He could really fight. I don't know what to say, man. Who do I think wins that one? I don't know. It's tough to say. I feel like Eddie wins, man. I feel like he's younger. His body's, his body and mind are still there. I think Oscar's too far gone as far as age and body and mind and all that stuff. I just don't think he beats Eddie, especially if they fight for real. Now, De La Hoya, obviously, we're all going to say in their primes, De La Hoya would fuck Eddie up in a boxing match. but he's not in his prime. He's significantly past it. Now, Eddie's not in his prime either. He's, a couple of years away, already out of his prime. But I don't know, man, because Eddie's just in shape still, and Oscar has a lot of work to do. He has a lot of work to do. Just looking at his face, he's chunky. He's not in the best shape, and I just don't see him beating Eddie. Honestly, he might get knocked. I wouldn't say he gets knocked out. I think he's still young enough to survive, but I think he loses. And it's a safe fight. It's a safe fight. He didn't pick McGregor or fucking Floyd, which is good for him. It's a safe fight compared to them. Is it an extremely safe fight? I don't know. This guy's still a professional elite fighter, Eddie Alvarez. He's still elite. So we'll see what happens. Do I hope it happens? It really doesn't matter to me either way. It is what it is. I will watch though. I am a hardcore fan, so I'm a junkie for this shit. So I'm gonna be watching. I'll even fucking watch Logan and Floyd. I'm a junkie. So I know most of you guys aren't. You don't want to pay $50-$60 for some bullshit. But I do. It is what it is. But moving on to some real fights. Eddie Hearn says Fury and Joshua have agreed on a fight location. He didn't give what it was. I couldn't find anything about him saying where it's going to be, but they agreed. And if it's in Vegas, it's going to be full capacity. And Joshua and Fury, according to the article, are easily going to walk away with $100+ million. So it's good time for them. They're going to be making some money. We're going to see who's the best heavyweight on the planet. And a lot of things are going to be answered. If Fury wins, he's one of the greatest of all time. It's one of the best heavyweights that have ever done it. He beat Klitschko. He beat Wilder. He came back from adversity, being over 400 pounds, almost killing himself. And he's a champion of the world, And God willing, he's in good spirits. I hope Fury's doing well. I hope he's mentally healthy, because that's the most important thing. Your mental health is very important. I hope he's okay mentally. Hope he's grinding. And Joshua has a huge opportunity on his hands to cement his legacy by beating Fury. Now, being objective here with my stance, Fury gets it done. Fury's the best on the planet. He has the size. I honestly think he has the skill. I think he's the most skilled heavyweight on the planet. And he's, has size. Extreme reach, extreme size. He could fight Joshua the way he fought Wilder. Just press him, grind him, beat him up, and break his will, and then take him out. That's how he beat Wilder. Joshua is more skilled than Wilder. He doesn't hit as hard as Wilder, but he's more skilled. He's more crisp on the fundamentals. Now this fight, it's tough to say how it's going to go down. I don't know. I feel like Joshua is going to be they're both going to be very strategic. I feel like Joshua's going to want to stay on the inside because this guy's so long, but he has to avoid being pressed. He has to fight inside, but not inside enough to where he's, getting pressed and just worn down by Fury, against the ropes or things like that. He has to be very strategic and pick his shots well. Fury, I feel like he could outbox Joshua. He still has to worry about power. Heavyweight, you have to worry about power. But I feel like after doing what he did to Wilder, he might do something similar to that. Because he's just the best, man. He's the best on the planet. He's the best on the planet. So crafty. He's such a good boxer, man. I don't know. I don't have enough good words for that guy. But this fight's gonna be very interesting. I hope it's in Vegas. They did say it could possibly be in Saudi Arabia or Dubai or certain areas. I hope it's in Vegas though. I'd be very excited for that. Vegas is filled with good fights right now. I hope that's another one added to the list of fights. But moving on, Eddie Hearn also says this is another fight. There's 60,000 tickets have already been sold for the Canelo Saunders fight in Arlington, Texas, AT&T Stadium. That is great news. And he expects there to be a full 80,000 person attendance. That's great news, man. That's great news. I'm happy Texas took the first step to getting opening up, because screw COVID. I think we can all say fuck COVID, right? But it's about time we get some excitement in our lives. It's exciting time, and Canelo gets to put on a show for tens of thousands of people. It's definitely going to be a Canelo crowd. Now, speaking of Fury, Fury said that he thinks Saunders is going to school Canelo. Now, of course, he's going to say that because Saunders is, a fellow UK brother. But let's be honest. Who's the best guy that Saunders has beaten? Let me look it up real quick. I want to be, I want to have the facts straight here. So, Billy Joe Saunders. Let's look at his record real quick. So let's see some of the guys he's beaten. He's beaten David Limix. He's pretty good. He's beaten Willie Monroe Jr. Pretty decent. Chris Eubank Jr. By split decision. John Ryder. So has he beaten a Triple G? Has he beaten a Demetrius Andrade? Has he beaten, someone like Lara, someone like Cotto, or someone like, like a higher world class, like an upper tier world class fighter? I don't think he has. Canelo, as far as skill, man, he might be the most skilled boxer in the world right now. This guy is another level. I mean, you see what he's doing to these guys. And yeah, the last guy he fought wasn't the best opponent, Avni Yildirim. The guy was a joke. I'm sorry. He beat the shit out of him, and it didn't belong in there with him. But then again, it was a mandatory challenger. He had to fight him or get stripped. So you can't blame Canelo for fighting this guy. They mandate him. You got to fight him. You get a mandated challenger. You got to fight the challenger. So will it be competitive? I think it will be. He is Billy Joe is a southpaw, and he's a good fighter. Obviously, undefeated. It's very interesting to see what's going to take place. I just think Canelo's too good and probably more powerful. I think he's more powerful. Billy only has 14 KOs, and his last KO was against Marcelo Corceres. That was his last KO. I don't know who that is. I'm sure he's not on the level of, some of the guys Canelo has beat. So it's going to be interesting. Anything can happen in the sport of boxing. Shocking things seem to be happening all the time. All the time. But objectively, I think Canelo gets it done. I think he breaks this guy down. Similarly to how he beat, Smith, how he beat Callum Smith. He's going to break him down, just outbox him, just outclass him. I think he does that to anybody right now, besides someone like Triple G. Besides, someone on the level of Triple G, he outboxes everybody. This guy is in a whole nother level, man. He's in his prime. He's killing it. He's just doing what the greats do. And to me, he's the second best Mexican fighter ever right now. The only guy ahead of him, in my opinion, is Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. Now people are going to give me shit like, oh, what about Oscar De La Hoya? I mean, I feel like this guy's even better. I honestly believe so. Now, you could make the argument that, Oscar had a better fight against Floyd, much better performance against Floyd than Canelo did. But to be fair, that's a tough one. He was young still. He was very young. Floyd was in his prime, I have to say. So I still think Canelo's better. That's debatable. I know some people could say Oscar is still second best. But yeah. So it's going to be interesting. I can't wait for it. It's very soon. It's I believe it's in May 8th. So we're getting close to it. Less than a month away, actually. Can't believe it. Time this flies, doesn't it? But yeah, guys, we'll see what happens. I still think Canelo is the very best on the planet, though. I think he gets it done. I think there isn't many humans on Earth that can outbox Canelo Alvarez right now, honestly. But moving on, Devin Haney calls out Ryan Garcia on social media. They go back and forth because he didn't take the fight against Devin Haney. Now Ryan defended himself, saying that there was no money involved and he's not going to do it. Is that true? I don't know. I don't know. None of us know unless you're you're in there with them. You're on their teams or something. But then he went out and said he's just going to stick to fighting good fighters like Javier Fortana. I don't know who the hell Javier Fortana is, which is Ryan's next opponent, by the way. I don't know who that is. Yeah, he says, so I'm going to keep fighting good fighters like Javier Fortuna, Gervonta Davis, Teofimo Lopez. So, and then he says, and when he steps up and fights against gold fighters, I'll beat him too. Okay. Now, Haney obviously hasn't, I don't think he's fought anyone like Teofimo Lopez or Tank, but neither have you. And both of these guys are right there. I feel like Devin and Ryan are right there. If you really wanted to respect Ryan, you should have took the fight. But then again, I know it's a money business, and can't blame the guy for wanting money. But where's the money in Javier Fortuna? I don't understand that. How would there be more money in the Haney fight than the Javier fight? I'm not an economist. I'm not a fucking promoter. But I feel like the common sense, I don't see more money in that than Devin Haney. I feel like people would want to watch that more. I don't even know who Javier Fortuna is. So it is what it is, man. I'm kind of on Devin's side right now. Like, why did you take this fight and not me? I'm on the, I'm kind of there with him. Like, why didn't you? I mean, money? That's your best excuse? I feel like you'd make more money fighting Haney. I don't know. It's his business. He's a grown man. But it is what it is. It is what it is. But yeah, guys, that is boxing. It's an exciting time right now. I'm excited. Good things are happening in the sports world, period. If you notice, I didn't do NBA. It's kind of hard to speak of it by myself. Hopefully we have, the crew here, like Wildcat and Thomas here, and the next one. But moving on, before I go into current topics, you guys are the first to hear this since, you guys are still, for you guys watching, I'm only going to say this once to give you guys a sneak peek of what's to come on the channel. So for y'all that don't know, I'm in college, and right now I'm in the middle of the semester. So that's why I don't post even more so than I already do. I give you guys the best stuff I got. Naruto reactions, UFC reactions, and UFC live reactions, as well as this podcast. But this summer, I have some things in the works for you guys. Original content from me. I'm going to give you a little hint. One of the videos I will be doing is a Naruto-based video. I'm going to be tier ranking Naruto characters, possibly, or maybe Naruto jutsus, or Naruto story arcs, or Naruto fights, stuff like that. I'm going to be doing tier rankings on that one website, where you make the tiers and you put the fights or whatever I'm doing in there. Also, I'll be doing UFC fighter tier rankings. So that's to come. Obviously, I'm going to work very, very hard, on those to make them very well done and very fair. Of course, I want to, when I make these kind of videos, I want to state my, give my reasoning with evidence so that it is a fair statement. I'm not going to just say, oh, this fight goes up here and that's it. So it's going to take a while. So don't expect those videos for a while, but you guys are the first to hear it. It's the only time I'm going to say it. Everyone else will be surprised. So if you're watching this right now, I love you, and I love everyone on the channel. We're all family, but you guys are the first to hear it. That is coming, so stay tuned for that. And of course, if you guys have any recommendations for original content as well, besides reactions, let me know, and I will take into consideration. I love you guys' suggestions. You guys give the best suggestions, and yeah. So I just wanted to let you guys know that. Once again, the reason I'm not doing that yet is because I'm in college. I'm almost done. I got less than a month left in the semester. We got all summer, and we're going to be giving you good stuff. But yeah, guys, so moving on to current topics, current events. First one, this is sad, and damn, this is a shame. Lamarcus Aldridge, retires due to heart condition consisting of irregular heartbeat. That is a damn shame. Lamarcus has been one of the better big men in the NBA for a long time. Very good shot blocker, very good defender, very good rebounder. So it's a damn shame. It's sad. Now, the question is he a Hall of Famer? Let's go ahead and look up Lamarcus Aldridge. Let's make this a tribute to him. He's been a great player for a long time. A very good player. Now let's look up his career stats real quick, and let's get a good grasp here. Okay, so let me go to his stats real quick. In 1 second, the thing is loading real quick. All right, so in his career, he's averaged 19 points. That is very respectable in the NBA. 8 rebounds. Slightly over 8 rebounds. He's a 49% from the field. Very, very respectable. 81% free throw shooter. very respectable. Um, with his best, let's see, his best season, I believe, was in 2015. He averaged 23 points, over 10 rebounds, and was 85% free throw. So he's had a respectable career. Overall, he's had, I'm trying to see how many points he's had here. Let's see. I believe it was over 19,000 points. So he's one of the better big men of this era. Now, does he have a ring? I'm trying to see so, because I'm gonna be honest. I'm not very sure of his. Okay, so he's been a 7-time All-Star, right? 7-time All-Star. MVP award shares. I don't think he's been an MVP. So he hasn't been an MVP. He's been top 20 in shots blocked several times. He's been first in shot goal attempts. Okay, that's not very relevant. I'm trying to see Hall of Fame probability according to this, 50.9%. That's fair. Defensive rating, he's been up there, and he's one of the better defensive players in the league. He's been like that for a long time. I believe he hasn't won a ring, if I'm not mistaken. He hasn't won a ring. Let's see. I'm gonna look at one more time. I don't want to be wrong. I want to, be respectable when it comes to this guy. Championships. Does he have a ring? No, he has not. He has not. Okay, so that's always something the people that decide this look into. But he's a very good player. Very, very good player. In my opinion, I think he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. I think he's right there. I think if you can make the case he doesn't, but I think he's right there. Right there. Once again, it's a damn shame. God, just keep him in prayer that he's okay and that he's healthy. And apparently he's had these problems in the past, but now it's worsened. And just pray to God that he's all right. Prayers to him and his family. But moving on, Michael Jordan to present Kobe at Hall of Fame ceremony. Now, this guy's, I think this is awesome. Michael Jordan definitely should be the one presenting this. He was Kobe's mentor, his bigger brother, his hero, and this guy definitely should do it. Michael Jordan, I honestly think Michael Jordan highly respects Kobe Bryant because of what he was, what he represented, and Kobe's one of the greats. He was the closest to Michael we've ever got, as far as his style of play and his even his attitude, everything about him is the closest thing to Mike we've ever had. Kobe's no question a Hall of Famer. I mean, first ballot, easily. Michael Jordan has the highest respect for him. They're obviously very close. They've played against each other. There's a respect there that will never be taken away. Now, Michael Jordan, shout out to him for doing what he's doing. I just thought that was a very, very, very noble thing for Michael to do. Now, moving on to, this is kind of sad, but we got to talk about it. Former NFL player kills 5 people and shoots himself. Philip Adams. I believe he was a safety, if I'm not mistaken. This is very, very sad, very tragic. Of course, there is a question of CTE. I guess we'll find out when they do the autopsy and they get into his brain and stuff like that. Now, CTE is obviously a real problem. I just feel like there has to be something put in place. Obviously, it's not widespread like CTE. You don't hear of like every retired football player losing their mind and doing something horrible. But I feel like, I don't know, the NFL should do something to where they have maybe an agency or a group in place that kind of keeps track of the retired football players, just to keep them, make sure they're healthy, make sure they're all right. And that should be something they provide to these athletes, because these guys put their goddamn heads on the line every day, hitting every day, especially the linemen, the linebackers, the running backs. That's all they do. They clash head to head every day. And I think they deserve that kind of compensation and that kind of incentive to play the game, because it's dangerous. You have people like Junior Seau, rest in peace. It's really, really sad, really sad. It's a damn tragedy. And Philip Adams, apparently he did this because he wanted medicine, and a doctor, one of his doctors, didn't want to provide to him, so he went to the guy's house and killed him and everyone there, and then himself. It's not okay. He did that. Obviously, it's a horrible thing what he did. It's horrible. It's a huge tragedy. Praise to all the family out there. All the people involved. Um, it's sad. It's very sad, and I just hope the NFL does something to just keep track of the players. Maybe an annual checkup. A couple times, normally a couple times a year, checkup on these older NFL players. As soon as they retire, just keep track of them. Help them out. Therapy. CT can mental health. It could affect your mental health definitely. So yeah, it's just something I had to bring up. It's sad, and I hope the NFL does something about it. Now, this is the last topic I got for the day, guys, and this is to lift our spirits, to end it with a good note. Marvel wants Hugh Jackman for Deadpool 4 or Secret Wars. All right, so let's dive into this a little bit. So, Hugh Jackman is one of the greats ever. He's one of the greatest to ever do it. One of the greatest actors I've ever seen. And he's up there with Iron Man as one of the best Marvel actors ever. Easily, no question. So, Marvel wants him back. I think it has to do with the multiverse, because they're diving into the multiverse, I believe, with the Secret Wars. And I can't wait, They can bring back Iron Man. Who knows what they'll bring back? Because this is the multiverse and an infinite domain of, universes. And that's why we've heard of Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, Kristen Dunst, Alfred Molina, I believe, is the guy that played Dr. Octopus. All those guys could make an appearance in Secret Wars. And holy shit, this is almost as big as Endgame, in my opinion. It might be bigger. It's very exciting. It brings back on nostalgia, the nostalgia and this sort of melancholy that we get from the past. Missing the past, missing the old MCU, missing Tobey Maguire, missing all these people. Now they're going to bring all that back, give us something to really look forward to. Marvel always does that right. DC should take notes, honestly, when it comes to the cinematic universe, which they botched several times, by the way. But moving on. So apparently Hugh is up for it, but he wants to see the script. Now Marvel does a fine job with their scripts, and we'll see what happens. I believe he's already in his 50s, but he looks damn good, obviously. And let's hope they make it happen. And I'm excited for this, man. The Secret Wars is a big project that they got, and also Deadpool 4. So that's another possibility. So it's either Deadpool 4 or Secret Wars. I kind of hope Secret Wars, because then he gets to mingle with all the others, with Spider-Man and, Doctor Strange and Thor and all these other guys. That would be very cool to see him interact with them. Deadpool 4 has less characters in it and stuff like that. So I wouldn't mind either one, but I hope it's Secret Wars. Marvel, now that COVID is gone, almost gone, dying, get out of our face, never come back ever, damn again, fuck you. I hope Marvel just starts the process again, kind of like with the Avengers arc. They're just killing it for years and years. I hope they do that with this. I really think Spider-Man is going to be the leader of this new arc. I think they're in phase 5 now. That's the phase they call it. It's either phase 4 or 5. And I can't wait, man. I can't wait. Let's see what happens. Hopefully, the end of this year and next year and the year after, it's good times. No more bad times. No more COVID. And people and organizations like Marvel really give us some hope and happiness. This world needs some happiness. This country needs some happiness. And let's pray. Let's pray that it happens. But yeah, guys, that's gonna wrap it up for my pod. Obviously it's a little shorter than the other ones because I'm by myself. But I felt like I talked to you guys. Hopefully you guys felt like you got a conversation with me. Or not a conversation, but, like you're interacting with me. That's the point of this podcast. Just a couple points before I wrap it up. Like I said, I will be doing more original content. I'm going to keep doing reactions. That's going to happen. So it's not like I'm stopped. I'm going to keep doing reactions, plus my own content. I really want to, get involved here with the Naruto, with the UFC, and just get it growing this summer. So in summer, expect more content, more litness. I'm going to bring it for you guys. I do this for you guys. I like doing this is my passion because of you guys. So all you guys that are part of the family or just joining, I love you all. But yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys have any recommendations for future topics, like I said, let me know in the comments. And yeah, guys, I hope you guys take it easy, and I'll catch you in the next one. This is Joe signing out. Peace.